What's your favorite gospel? Now, as someone whose home parish is St. Luke's in the town of St. Lucas, Iowa, I'm a little impartial to St. Luke. This author of the Gospel of Luke and also the Acts of the Apostles, who we celebrate in his feast day this week. Now, St. Luke is unique to all of the other authors of the books of the Bible because he is the only one from a Gentile or non-Jewish background. He received the gospel from St. Paul and has a very unique perspective compared to the other gospel writers. Because, again, he's not from a Jewish background, but he was a very intelligent man. St. Paul describes him as a faithful follower, someone who was with him in his most difficult moments, who was also a well-known physician or beloved physician. So he's a patron saint of doctors as well. He was also described as an artist, according to our tradition. But what's unique about Luke is his emphasis on women, the poor, and the ostracized. So if you take, for example, look at some different stories that are only found in the Gospel of Luke. For example, all of the joyful mysteries of the Rosary, the Annunciation, the Visitation, the appearance of the shepherds to the baby Jesus, the presentation of Jesus in the temple, the finding of Jesus in the temple, the story of the parable of Lazarus and the rich man we heard a couple weeks ago. Also our upcoming Gospel for this weekend, and also probably most famously the story of the prodigal son, the story of the good thief at the crucifixion, and also the story of the road to Emmaus. On top of that, he gives us all of the gospel, or all of the book of the Acts of the Apostles, the only book of the New Testament that tells us about the history of what happened in the church post-Pentecost. So an incredible contribution to our faith and how important his perspective is. But he also invites us to think about, do we have that same perspective? God has given each of us a unique way of seeing the world. And do we use that perspective to recognize the poor and the outcast and the ostracized among us? Maybe we can see, like St. Luke did, God working in them. But also, St. Luke gives us a unique perspective in that he sees in a unique way God continuing to work in time. That even after Pentecost, with the disciples receiving the Holy Spirit, how God's work continues today in us. Maybe we might be inspired to take confidence that God is continuing to work in us through his Holy Spirit.